I don't know for how much longer I can hang in. The winds have to be over 150 miles per hour. My suggestion is just grab the back of your thighs and put your head between your legs and kiss your goodbye. All joking aside, today is an important video. It might be my last video for a few days. It really depends on how Hurricane Ian hits, let's say. But as we know, we've seen these type of videos where people are just so intense and so crazy. You know how news is. The news reporters, this is their time to get crazy. This is their time to exaggerate. This is their time to sensationalize. But we know that, but we cannot take anything for granted, especially a hurricane. These people really don't know where these hurricanes are going to go. They have like the spaghetti models where they think it's going to go. And as you can tell, when they're about 1,000+ miles away, that cone, let's say, of trajectory, or that cone where it's going to hit, are always literally 600 miles large. Well, who the frick knows 600 miles? That's a big, big area. Well, obviously it's so that they can give you that warning, so you can prepare, because they don't know, like I said, where it's going to go. Now, just for a backstory real quick, I have been through Hurricane Andrew, which was probably the most devastating hurricane ever. One of them, probably top 10, maybe top 5, I don't know. It originally was said that it was about 180 miles per hour. I really do believe some of the researchers say that it was over 200 miles per hour. And I could just say, when I was a kid going through Hurricane Andrew, I remember the roof creaking and cracking as the pressures were changing inside the house. I also remember the glass windows, the glass doors, right, were bowing and buckling in and out based on those pressures going in and out. It was just absolutely amazing how powerful that storm was. And when I say that they don't know where they're going, trust me, we had one just recently, within the last 10, 15 years or something, that's recent, where the hurricane actually went over us, the eye, and then literally did a U-turn and then came back the other way. I remember looking outside and seeing all the trees were stuck this way during the eye of the hurricane, where everything is silent. And then as the hurricane changed its direction, came back, the trees ended up going upright again, which was kind of nice. Didn't have to fix them. So I put together this list of things that you should do, you shouldn't do, things that you should have before a hurricane was to hit, or any type of disaster. I think this should be helpful for a lot of people. Some of the things you already know, some of them you don't. And if I missed anything, in the comment area below, add your thoughts. Because once again, this channel is not about me, it's about us. And the most important stuff that happens on this channel happens down below. So add the things that I don't cover in here. So let me start out by saying Hurricane Ian was originally going to miss us by a little bit, but now it's starting to curve a little bit inward. And if it does, we are going to be on the dirty side of that hurricane. Now, when I say the dirty side, the eastern side, or the right-hand side of the hurricane, is the most powerful in the northern hemisphere, right? So that is the side that we will be in. Even if the actual eye doesn't go over us, we're going to get a ton of wind and rain. And if it does hit at a category 3, we're going to get heavy, heavy rain and a lot of wind, probably over 100 miles per hour. I have a daughter that is on the other coast of Florida that is actually en route right this minute to me, back to my location, because she is closer to Tampa, where it's actually going to come on shore. So we're a little bit safer because I am inland. So we'll see how this all goes. But I want to give this list to you of things. Once again, if there's anything that needs to be changed or anything that needs to be added, please do so. So number one, I would say print out an evacuation plan, and also your maps, where you're going to go, and have your loved ones do the same. The reason I say this is because when power goes down, which is almost inevitable with all heavy, really high wind hurricanes, your GPS isn't going to work. And you're like, well, I have battery in my phone. Why doesn't it work? Well, because the cell phone towers will not have power, And once the cell towers go down, your phone is basically useless. You do not have service. So print out those maps, print out an evacuation route. I have those maps for my loved ones so they know how to get to me in this centralized area. Let's call it a home base so they can get to me. Even if roads are flooded, there's alternative ways of going, and that is very important. Also, have 1 to 2 weeks of medication with you at all times. That includes for you, family members, and even your pets. Some people forget about their pets, but if your pet needs medication, have that medication with you. Also, keep your vehicles filled up. When the power goes out, there is no gas, period. So constantly fill up before a storm comes, because there will be a time when you will no longer be able to fill up because there's so many people going to the gas station to go get gas. The lines will become inevitably endless. All right. And eventually there'll be no more gas. So constantly fill up, have a full tank of gas. Also, go to your bank and take out some money, because once again, as your phone won't work without electric, guess what? Your credit card won't work either when the little swipies don't work anymore, right? Cash is king. Have a few $100s of cash on you at all times. So if you need to buy food or gas or whatnot, you will be able to do so. Also, when it comes to supplies, I put together a list of a bunch of supplies I think are very important for you to have if you're going to be either leaving, evacuating, or if you're going to be sheltering and staying in one spot. So to start out with, make sure your phones are fully charged. And if you have battery backups for your phones, those little chargers, those little charging bricks, make sure those are fully charged also. Important documents. Make sure you have those important documents in a waterproof container. Some people say, well, what is important? Well, I put together a small list. Number 1, all of your family member birth certificates, as well as insurance cards, your social security cards, as well as your bank and credit card numbers. Keep those, as well as the expiration dates and CVVs on the back, just in case you lose them. Also, your will and your house inventory. Take photographs of all of your inventory, so if something gets damaged, later on you can say, well, this was damaged, and then you can go through your insurance company to have it replaced. Also, your titles for your cars or your boats or whatever. Have those with you. And your vet records and microchip information for your animals. Have all of these documents with you and put them in a waterproof container. That is very important. Also, you're going to want to have flashlights. A lot of flashlights, because power will inevitably go off. Have some type of means of illuminating your home, let's say, without having to use candles or some type of oil burning lamps that can spill over and then cause a fire. That happens a lot after storms. Also, have a battery powered or mechanically powered emergency radio. After a storm, that is a great way to get news, local news of what's going on, especially if the power is out. Have plenty of batteries. Those are D batteries, C batteries, AA's, AAA's. Have all of the batteries that you need for all of the devices that you're going to be using. Also have first aid kits. First aid kits are something that everyone should have. Make sure you have at least one first aid kit, if not more. First aid is always a good thing after a storm. Also have enough non-perishable food for at least 1 week per person. So if you are hunkering down in your home and you have 3 people, well, have enough food for a week for 3 people. That is very important, and make sure it is non-perishable, because if the refrigerators go out for a lengthy period of time, you're going to have spoiled food. Non-perishable, all of your dries and cans are very important to have. Speaking about cans, have a can opener that's not electric. Have a manual can opener. If not, you're not getting in the can unless you want to pound on it, right? Also, at least 1 to 2 gallons of water per person per day. Also, make sure you have self-hygiene products for everyone. And a phone list. People are like, well, what phone list do we need? Write this stuff down, because if your power goes out, you don't have any more battery, what is the phone number to your doctor, your insurance company, your electrical company, your gas company, water company, maybe friends, family, neighbors, your landlord, your property manager, maybe your bank or credit union, whatever. Have these numbers written down, not just relying on electric. Also, a basic toolbox is really quite good to have, with hammers and screwdrivers and all the rest of the essentials. Very important. Work gloves, also very important. You might be moving trees and debris and whatnot after the storm. Ropes and tarps with duct tape. You might have a window that is smashed. You want to use one of those tarps or maybe even plastic, heavy plastic bags, and now seal it up with some type of duct tape. Also, make sure you have your rain gear, because most likely you're going to be outside trying to survey things or maybe correct problems that occurred, damages or whatnot. Have that rain gear with you. Now, once the power goes out, do you have a solar generator or do you have an actual gas powered generator? You probably should have one or the other, especially if you're in a more rural area like myself. In the city, most likely you'll be without power maximum of a few hours, sometimes a day or two. When you're out in a rural environment, you might not be with power for 2 weeks. Who knows? There was one hurricane where I was without power for 21 days, guys, 21 days. Also, if you do have a generator, that's a gas powered generator, do not run the damn thing in your garage. I can't tell you how many people die after a storm running a generator for power in their garage and they end up dying of carbon monoxide poisoning. Don't do that. All right, don't do that. Also, propane. Have enough propane so that you can run a grill. If you do not have a gas stove and you rely on electric, having a propane grill with enough propane will mean that you're going to have hot meals. Also very important. Think about having a whistle, like an emergency whistle, so that if you need to contact people, you can blow that whistle. People are going to hear you for a great distance. Emergency whistles are really good to have, especially in flooding type of situations. And people are on their roof and they're blowing a whistle. It's very easy for people to know where they are. Have a whistle. Also, extra cans of gas. Those 5-6 gallon red cans, fill them up. Having 1 or 2 of these is more than enough. You don't want to stockpile a ton of these because they can end up being dangerous just in themselves. Also, bulk water. Make sure, like I said, you have that 1 or 2 gallons of water per person. If you can get water in bulk, then definitely get the bulk water. Water is a necessity. You can go a lot longer without food than you can without water. Also, a cooler. If you have a cooler, it is really great to be able to get bags of ice and fill it in the cooler. And then if you don't have electric, you can put stuff like medication that needs to be cooled or specific foods that need to be cooled into those coolers. And don't forget, we're talking about food for us. Don't forget food for your dogs, right? Or for your birds or for any of the other pets that you have. Make sure you have enough food for them. So these are just some of the things that I've jotted down. I'm sure there's many, many others. Once again, in the comment area, let me know and let everyone know. So many people will leave a storm. If a hurricane rolls over you and you are in the eye of the storm, the eye of the storm is absolutely silent. If you've never been in one, it is the eeriest thing ever. You just went through a storm where it sounds like a train is outside. That is the sound of the winds blowing through your home. Trust me. That train stops, and now it is absolutely silent in the eye of the storm. And if you were to peek outside, there will be not a bird, there will not be an animal, there will be nothing, not even an insect chirping during the eye of the storm. Why? Because they're not stupid. They know the other side or the other eye wall is going to be rolling over them momentarily, let's say. But we humans are stupid. We'll go out in that eye and look around, be like, look, this is cool, and wander around. And all of a sudden they get hit with the backside of the hurricane. Don't do that. Stay indoors if you do get hit with the eye of the hurricane. All right. Trust me. I've been through a couple of them. Remember, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. It is very important. And that's what this PSA is all about. Preparation. Doesn't have to be for this storm. It could be another storm a year from now or in 10 years. Once again, put those comments down below of things that you find that I missed, all right? Things that you feel should be in this list. Put them down below. Now, as far as Starlink, I know a lot of you guys are here for Starlink. I was thinking about leaving the Starlink dish on the roof just for scientific reasons, let's say, just to test it out, to see how much wind this thing could actually withstand. Now, I know that the service is going to go down because every time it rains, the service goes down. So at 100 mile per hour rains with gusts coming through at probably 130 plus, is probably going to be out anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it down. I might do a little short of me taking it down momentarily, but I am definitely going to take the dish down, bring it inside during the hurricane. And once the hurricane has passed, I will go and remount it and hopefully get signal again. Also, I might not be posting for the next couple of days. It really depends if we lose electric or if we don't, if there's any type of repairs that need to be done. I really don't know. So don't be worried, because I will be back, but you might not see a video for the next couple of days. We will see. Fingers crossed. We'll see where it ends up landing. Where does it hit? Once again, the news people, the weather people really don't know until it gets extremely close. If we look at the models right now, they still look like spaghetti. Right now, it looks like it's coming closer to me than it was before, but who knows? It can change trajectory once again at a moment's notice. Be prepared. That's all that I can say, is just be prepared. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, even in the least, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends, family, community, wherever. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so and click right here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. Also, if you haven't picked up any of my ebooks, go check them out. They're free. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. If you're here for Starlink information, I made a playlist specifically for Starlink. Go check out that playlist. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Love you all.